Without wasting any time, part 2 is a much better movie than part 1. This is basically what I was expecting to see when I watched A Child of Fire. And yes, Anthony Hopkins is back as Jimmy, you know, the robot from the first movie. But in this one, he's totally badass. The plot's pretty simple. We rejoin the crew now stationed on Veldt as they must prepare for the imminent arrival of Motherworld. Preparation becomes key as it's the only way they can survive the oncoming onslaught. Where the first movie was more of an action adventure movie, this is a straight up war movie. I love the slow build up of the first act, giving us the much needed backstory that was missing in part 1. The runtime is actually a welcome surprise. I mean, this is a Zack Snyder movie after all. It clocks in at just 2 hours. And I mean, this thing flew by. I was intrigued from the first minute. The biggest issue I have with Rebel Moon is the fact that it feels so incomplete. It's been stripped down to the bare minimum. Call it a teaser as we await the R-rated extended cut. Now my question is, why go through all this effort? Why not just give us the final version? I mean, pushing the narrative of having something similar to the Snyder cut is just unnecessary if you ask me. After watching part 2, I'm convinced that we're missing out on a much better experience. Zack Snyder certainly has the version that he wants us to see hidden somewhere in his garage. I just hope that we don't have to wait that long to see that version of Rebel Moon. Okay, now with all that said, this is still a Zack Snyder movie, so you almost know exactly what to expect going in, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It looks gorgeous. The visuals are stunning. I'm actually surprised that it looks like this considering the budget of these two movies. The action set pieces are absolutely incredible. Now, I've already mentioned Anthony Hopkins as Jimmy. That scene with Jimmy, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but it's incredible the way Zack Snyder shot that. Now, my personal preference is I think the battle sequence was a little stretched out. It could have been shorter, but that's just my opinion. It's in the story department where the movie just falls short. I feel like that's always been Zack's biggest criticism, but this movie focuses more on the action side of things and it succeeds in that aspect, so I can't knock him really for the shortcomings of the narrative. I feel like there's so much more to unpack here, but it's just unfortunate that for now we are only getting bits and pieces. I'd love to see the bigger picture, the final product. I feel like we have had all this build up. I'd love to see a complete cut. I mean, I don't mind watching a 4-hour movie. I mean, if we could get through the Snyder cut, then Rebel Moon Ultimate Director's Edition / R-rated cut, yeah, we can definitely do it. It's no problem. I was a massive doubter after part 1, but part 2 has managed to sway me in the right direction. Snyder might be cooking up something here, guys. This is definitely not the last we see of the Rebel Moon universe, and I feel like there's a whole galaxy to explore. So I hope, you know, Netflix just gives Snyder all the resources he needs to go as hard as possible, because there's a lot more to flush out here. I'd love to see a deeper dive into character development. That's definitely the one part where the movies have just fallen short. If they can go deeper into that, we have a great movie on the cards. They've barely scratched the surface. It's a decent follow-up to part 1, but for now, I'm still waiting on the version that Snyder wants us to see. Please let me know what you guys think about this one. Has the hype really been there? I mean, the reception for part 1 was so lackluster. I haven't really heard people talk about part 2. But don't miss out on this one, guys. There's definitely a movie here that's worth your time. If you love Snyder, this is for you. I mean, I still think what he did on Watchmen was ahead of everybody. That movie is so underrated and so unappreciated. So I love Zack Snyder's work. It's always hit and miss, you know, I'm not gonna lie, but this is a much better movie. That's it for me, guys. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, guys. I'll keep the videos coming. Catch you on the next one. And once again, thank you for watching.